This is Hustler magazine, and it was April 1984. Larry Flint, Childers for President. He had supported me in a run for U.S. Congress when one of the congressmen I wrote about, Larry McDonald he was a urologist from Piedmont Hospital in Atlanta. The KAL passenger plane he was aboard was shot down by the Soviets when it veered into their airspace. A little bit akin to what's going on now, isn't it? But anyway, I'd written a book, medical malpractice book, MD License to Kill, and I lived at Moonraker Apartments. This is 75 till April Fool Day of 80 when they just about killed me again. Larry Flint, I was writing about mind control murders, about programming way back then, and I couldn't Google or anything. I was led into it, actually. I was trying to write about that, and then later found out my real name. I was flown out to Flint's during the campaign to replace Larry McDonald. This is 80 when they almost killed me again, and he was a part of that to shut up the book. A bunch of doctors. But let me go ahead and say this. Larry Flint, the man was programmed to shoot him. He says here that Larry McDonald, that I knew who was responsible for his shooting, and he mentioned Larry McDonald in that. Of course, he had flown me out there in October of 83. I was out there twice. And I want to go, if I can. I'm not able to organize, and I'm just about dead at the moment, to tell you the truth, from what's being done to me. As you can see, a little bit of here in the floor. I was writing about this morning on Facebook and Instagram. I was trying to go back to, this has been ongoing all of my life. Let me state this first. I've put this up on many videos and all that, some of it. But June the 23rd, 1979, I had a letter from the U.S. Attorney's Office, William Harper. And the FBI had turned it over to him, and he issued the letter. And James Baker co-signed it, the assistant U.S. attorney from Atlanta. And they said national security involved, ongoing investigation, national security involved. So I want to go back to, I really don't know the year when, the Watergate tapes, the 18-minute gap. I want to address that here. Henry Kissinger made the statement that power is the ultimate aphrodisiac. And I looked that up in the dictionary, which I kind of knew, but what he was saying, he gets off on power and money. Well, they sure got mine, didn't they? Because he and the Rothschilds, my own Uncle George VI, who helped kidnap me, Roosevelt, I was born in 39. They kidnapped me in 41 and brought me to Moulton, Alabama. Gave me the name of a twin, Peggy, and Carl, and both Dempsey, and both of them were dead. Their mother killed them. They were born out of wedlock. The doctors that delivered them's name was Irwin, I-R-W-I-N. As far as I know, he was a good guy. Because there was a discrepancy through my school years after they brought me over here and all that, with the twins, when they died, they were actually a year older. And Carl died, and she killed him, and then she killed Peggy. And I was dropped off there. And the Kennedys were, Ambassador Joe was, to Great Britain when they kidnapped me. And Joseph, the older boy, and JFK flew in there at the very years I was kidnapped in 41 and dropped off at Cortland Air Base near Moulton, Alabama, where they took me to a pigsty. But what I wanted to address was Henry Kissinger and the letter from the U.S. Attorney William Harper, national security involved. So it just went on that I was almost killed April Fool Day of 80 and taken across the state line. I mean, it was hell. And where I passed in the condition I was in, I didn't think I could even type. Passed a background check for Sheriff Patterson of Madison County, that's Huntsville, Alabama. where NASA and Redstone Arsenal, Marshall Space Flight Center is, and about 60 miles or 50 miles from Moulton, where they took me when they kidnapped me. So that I don't lose you here, I want to put this in here. I work for the district attorney, Fred Simpson. Then you get into Wallace. I found out later, I didn't know then, after they tried to kill me, why I was going through all this. I attributed some of it to the book. Wallace Simpson married a double, a lookalike, not my dad. This is my dad, the real King Edward VIII. They've so slaughtered and never, never changed. And yes, the media has always known it before I did. My father married Claudia Ruth O'Keefe's sister to George O'Keefe, artist from Madison, Wisconsin, but George ended up living in outside Santa Fe at Ghost Ranch. So what I wanted to get to here was I wrote about mind control murders in the book, and I thought that was the reason. Now, some of the later mind control murders was Timothy McVeigh. I mean, they murdered him. He was chipped, and he tried to tell everybody that the Army put a chip up his rear. And this is, so he was programmed. He's a victim, and he's dead. Timothy Nichols, or not Timothy, Terry Nichols is Oklahoma City prison, and this was the book. This is what I'd been telling about, implantable biochips. Tex Mars, I believe. This is Holmes, James Holmes. These were done in patterns and can be proven. It was a mind control murder. The theater murders in Aurora, that was Aurora, Colorado. Then you've got Tucson, Arizona. This is going to go out before I even get started. What I wanted to say was Victor Gonzalez is still in practice there. There was a suit filed against him, and Eugene Kaiser, former DA for Fulton County, that's Atlanta, Georgia. He was an attorney in 1975-76. A suit was brought against Dr. Victor Gonzalez. He's a child psychiatrist, and he was at Huntsville. I was set up. He was at Parkland in Dallas when John Kennedy was brought there. It's why John Kennedy was killed. And I think everybody knows the CIA and the FBI were responsible, but hey, nobody cares what the Kennedys did to me and to Great Britain, and really. So anyway, I want to go to this. Henry Kissinger made a statement, and I guess I'm jumping around here. I said that about Victor Gonzalez. As far as I know, that sick SOB still practicing in and around Atlanta. The suit was brought against him, and it was a gag order placed on it. Now then, that was 75-76, and I thought it was because, well, not the gag order placed on it. That was later I started doing the book. I want to go back to about 72, I think, when Henry Kissinger, they took me, I was drugged by Gonzalez and taken over to College Park, Georgia. That's Atlanta. It's where the tracks were, streetcar tracks all were, came to a cross there. There was a clinic, and it was still there not too many years ago, so I could show it to you. I was drugged and taken there. I knew what was happening. I just couldn't. Well, they drugged me in and put me on a bed back there. And these were doctors and nurses coated up and knew what they were doing. I could hear them talking, waiting on a phone call to come through, and there was a white coat behind me. This is a clinic. He was waiting on a phone call, and Gonzalez was on the other side of me, looking down on me, and I heard every word of it. They were going to lobotomize me, and I was out of it. I couldn't move. If the British didn't come through with their demands, it was Henry Kissinger on the phone, the 18-minute gap in the tape that they tried so hard to destroy. Now, they role-played that when I worked for Simpson, the DA, as in they were using the role-playing, the Wallace Warfield Simpson was supposed to marry my father, etc., okay? It was my job titles I had. After then, I went to work for Doyle Duke, as in the Duke of Windsor, and that was run by the CIA, by the way, Golden